Is my grandpa secretly Commissioner Gordon? What burger of the day do I want to eat today?
How does Ben Grimm have children?
How is Hope gonna get herself out of this one?
Let's have a conversation.
Hello, welcome to Conversations with the Goob. That's me, so let's have a conversation. So, as I was saying in last week's video, I kept talking about the three loves theory. I've seen this floating around on Facebook a few times. I've seen a few actual psychologists or love doctors that, life doctors that they claim it to be, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I think the whole theory behind it is while you might love a lot of people, there's only 3 of them in your life that you actually love, have that deep love connection. My thought on love is always, I feel too many people say it too easily. I care deeply for my friends, but do I love them? I'm not in love with them. And I guess maybe in love and loving might be 2 different things, but to me, I care deeply for someone doesn't mean I am in love with them. And I kind of think that's what the theory is doing. It's separating love into multiple different definitions. So you might have you might have loved 5 people that you dated, but 3 of them are the big loves. I think more care deeply for is a type of love that a lot of people use. So I'm gonna use both regular show, which I brought up last week, and my own life, which I've talked about. I talked about Purple, my first girlfriend, and I cared about her, but I don't think I ever really loved her. We definitely weren't together long enough for it to ever be love. Wouldn't even say care deeply. It was lust. I mean, I was a 14-year-old that enjoyed having a girlfriend to make out with, you know. But Blue was definitely one of my loves. So I'm going to say what the 3 loves are. And I don't think that the first 2 have to be in any specific order. In the definitions of them, when I see them in the memes, it never says like your first love and your second love. It's more like the first type of love and second type. And then the third one is your last love. The third one has to be where it's at because that's the one you marry. So it says the first love, the one love is someone you have a deep connection with. Everything goes great. Everything is fantastic. There's no issues. Maybe you break up because of one big problem that you can't get over, but it was happy-go-lucky. It's the type of love where you think it's going to last forever even though you're young, and it's just goo goo gaga eyes, head over heels in love. The second type of love is one where it's a messy love. It's messy. Maybe there's lots of breakups and getting back together. You break up, you get back together. Maybe there was a lot of big fights during it, and even though you fought a lot, you still love each other, and you learn from this, and you learn mistakes that you make in this. And then the third love is one that comes out of nowhere. You weren't expecting it. A lot of times it's not someone that you were usually attracted to or, crushed on. You never really crushed on them. It was just, wham, there they are, and holy crap, I didn't even realize it. And this is the one that you usually marry. So that's like the theory of the three major loves in your life. And they all help you to grow and know what you need. The first 2, so that the third one, helps you out. So let's go with regular show. Like I said, it connected because J.G. Quintel uses this really well. And it hit me after the end, after it had been over, and I watched it like 3 times. I finally dawned on me. So first, Mordecai has Margaret. He is like head over heels in love with this girl. He goes to her coffee shop and flirt with her all the time, and he just wants to date her. He gets so jealous when she's with other people, and he spends his whole time, bonding with her, and then they get together, and it's magical. They have arguments, but it's never big arguments, and they always forgive each other like almost immediately. The one time when he made a bet to kiss her and she got upset, but then she laughed and she made him lose the bet, so he'd have to wear a diaper. and like laughed at him, and it was all over with. It, you know, he apologized and she accepted it. It wasn't a big fight. So, you know, well, they finally start dating, and again, they're like head over heels. Well, then she gets accepted into a college that's far away, so she breaks up with him when he was wanting to like actually make it official, and she's sad. It's not like she did it because she didn't love him. She needed to go to college, and she knew that college was more important, that if their love was real, it would last. So that was his first love, you know, the easy-go-lucky one with no major issues where you're head over heels for each other. The second one was CJ. He met CJ, well, at first he thought that Margaret had another boyfriend or got proposed to by her boyfriend, so he started dating other people, and that's where he meets CJ, and he's like, I'm not wanting to date, my friends are forcing me to do this. She's like, okay, let's just hang out. And they have a blast, and then she develops feelings for him, and he asks her to go to the movies. She thinks it's a date, and then he makes a real dick move here, even though he already has plans. Even if she was just a friend, he had plans to go to the movies with CJ, and then he finds out that Margaret's single, so he asks her to go to the same movie with the movie. That was such a dick move on his part. Like, there's just no reasoning behind it. He just forgot that he made plans, I guess, but still, even if she was just a friend in his mind, that was still a dick move. So she gets pissed off, turns into a big giant lightning cloud, and destroys the place, and finally she calms down and leaves. And this continues. She loses her temper a lot, and she's a cloud person, so when she loses her temper, she turns into a storm. She almost kills him at one point, but this locket that he bought her saved his life, and she was like, oh, okay, I accept it. Well, then they start dating, and at this point, Margaret comes back, and instead of communicating with CJ, and even communicating with Margaret, he just holds it all in, and he makes moments awkward. So then she catches him hugging. I think he even might have kissed Margaret at the Christmas party. I'm not sure, but it was all in the heat of the moment. It was stupid, and they had a big fight. They broke up. He went and got her back, made her understand that he wasn't into Margaret anymore. It was kind of a goodbye kiss that they were doing. She accepts it. Then she starts getting super jealous every time she sees Margaret. Margaret keeps showing up. All these weird, awkward moments, but instead of talking, they all fight and they run away. She gets angry, and this continues. Now, yes, Mordecai was being stupid half the time, but it was also a lack of communication. But that's the second love, that it's very messy. They keep fighting and breaking up and getting back together, then fighting and breaking up and getting back together, and that's the second love. Well then, so now, again, I'm watching a sitcom. I think that it's one of those two girls he's going to end up with, but he ends up with this random moose girl. He never crushes. Every time he's ever crushed on a girl, liked a girl, it was always like a bird person, except for CJ, who was a cloud. But some moose chick that was unnamed, and that's the third one. She came out of nowhere. The first two shaped him and helped him grow so that he was ready to meet the third one. And that's the same with my experience. So now my two loves are actually swapped. My first love is actually the messier one, and my second love, which I already talked about, was more of the clean one. Me and Blue had great chemistry. She just came after such a messy breakup that broke me, that I hurt her. My first love, I'm going to call her Orange. We started dating after we were together for 7 months, the longest relationship back then. And, she ended up dumping me so she could have sex with some other guy, and it broke me, it hurt me. That's the messiest part of it. It wasn't really like any drama or anything. We didn't break up, get back together, break up, get back together. But after she dumped me, we continued to talk, and I think things were heading towards us getting back together, but then they didn't, and it was the hurtful one. It hurt me, and towards the end of our relationship, the last month that we were together, she would start making up excuses to go hang out with her friends, and I'm being a good boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, you go hang out with your friends. I'm not gonna tell you can't hang out with your friends. It turned out she was doing it so she could hang out with that guy that she ended up dumping me for. So that kind of added more hurt to it, more mess. But I still loved Orange. I mean, she was, I forgave her for what she did, and if we had gotten back together, we would have. But that was my first love, and that was the messy one. And my second love was the one that was like, we were so great. I broke her heart, but like that one was the word. But that's where it comes to Princess. You all know Princess, my wife. And this is where, again, it brings us in that whole Alex Clark thing, too. At the end of his video, he's talking about this girlfriend he had and how much fun they had together. And they had this huge adventure together and were so great. And then they broke up and went their separate ways. And it's like, but the thing he said is he pulled out a picture of his wife and he said, we end relationships with people we are not meant for so that we can end up with the people that we are meant for. And that makes so much sense. Things didn't work out with Orange and Blue because they weren't supposed to. They are supposed to be a part of my past, memories to look back on and remember, but they were there to help me to be ready for Princess, because Princess is the person I was meant to be with. And that's why me and her ended up together, and I was ready for her because of all the things I learned from the previous ones. But I really liked that. I wanted to share the three loves theory with you. I wanted to show how Regular Show has a lot of real life things in it, and I want to share that Alex Clark video with you because that's the inspiration for sharing my past stories with you as well. That's down below, and well, I'll put it in this one as well. Since I talked about it again. Yeah, we just... Hey, so I totally forgot what I was doing in the video. I wanted to compare, Regular Show and how it impacted my own life. Like I got the, how I saw similarities. So just like how in Regular Show, we see Margaret and CJ, and there's like this huge connection there. With my life, it was Orange and Blue. And then we continued talking. I continued talking to both of them. With Blue specifically, we had talked about when I come back from Michigan, because I moved to Michigan eventually after high school. And we were talking about when I come back, because my plan was to go to Millersville. Then we would, she said I could live with her if I need a place to stay. We would date, but, try to keep it slow so that, obviously she was afraid of me hurting her again. With Orange, we continued talking, and there was a lot of flirting that I don't even know if I was just reading into signals, but a lot of moments. And I always thought that, it was going to be one of them, that I go back to Pennsylvania and most likely Blue, but... and that's when Princess came into the picture, and I'm working at Bavarian Inn, a restaurant. We carry big, heavy trays, and I hit her in the head with my tray. So that was like, she followed me around asking if I was going to make up for it. I wasn't even thinking dates, because she was nice, she was pretty, but I didn't even think that at all. It was just out of the blue, and then we ended up talking on the phone and going on dates, and went from there. We ended up getting married, and it just like the three loves, it was out of the blue. Like, I never expected it to happen. She wasn't on my mind as being someone like that. I had plans to go back to Pennsylvania, and obviously that never happened. And so same thing with Mordecai. He goes back like for a reunion. It looked like it was 30 or 25 years later or something like that he goes back and visits them, and they talk like they haven't seen each other in forever. So it's like he was planning going back to where his friends were, and he never did. But it's just so much similarities with life, and it's a great show. You guys are sleeping on it if you haven't watched it yet, but no, it's and it's just the three loves, and, it mirrors with that show, and that's why I just wanted to share that, add that in there. I just want to know, what are your thoughts? Have you already had interactions with these three loves? I'll try to find a link to an actual web page about it. You can read more about it in better descriptions than I gave. Tell me about your loves in your life. Are you married? Do you already have that last love? Have you only had two of them? Do you agree with the three loves? Do you think you only have one soulmate? Because the three loves theory gets rid of soulmates. It's kind of like you have three soulmates almost. So yeah, let's have a conversation about love down below. And as always, you don't need to have superpowers to be a hero.